What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Wartable Season 2, Episode 3. I'm your host, Dad of War, alongside my always great assistant slash co-host.
Hi, our legions of viewers.
Legions, he says. That's Quiet Boy Girl on the other side of me. We are here to discuss video games and video game-esque things. As always, we'll start off with, how have you been, Kawhi? How's your week going?
This is pretty good. Feeling a little bit up and down. It's just like a weather thing.
Yeah, because as you people know, our legions of viewers know, we just started live streaming the podcast, and it's usually on Wednesdays, but he was not feeling well yesterday, so we're here now on Thursday. I think I tweeted that. Probably didn't. I always forget. Try and get better, though. My week has been... What a week. Running on minimal sleep. My youngest child does not feel like sleeping, so I'm paying the price. I think I'm going on day 4. It's Thursday, so day 4, but I think I've had a total of legitimately probably about 10 hours of sleep throughout the week. So it's a little rough. But we're here. We're doing it. Other than that, we go into the next segment of this lovely show that we try to put on, and that would be what you been playing. And we'll start off with you, Kawhi. What have you been playing? What you doing?
So, I've been playing mostly. I started a Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke, which has been going pretty well. I'm at the Ice Gym leader right now.
Is that
Uh,
7?
I, yeah, because then it's Pier. No, wait. I think,
So 6.
yeah, then it's Piers at 7, then Rihan at 8. But yeah, that's been going pretty well. I've only lost like a few Pokemon to care about. I actually have a pretty good team working out for me. I've
Hey.
also been playing a few other good things. I've been playing If Found, which has been a really nice story.
No idea
Uh,
what that
and
is.
and on Steam, I actually got gifted a horror visual novel called The Letter
Hmm.
by someone I haven't talked to in years.
Oh,
So I play and I
wink.
gifted them back something on their wish list because I felt bad.
Oh, that's at least kind of you to reciprocate.
But the letter is I haven't finished it. It's got a lot to it. It's just like oh god, I don't know how to describe it. So the main character, or there's 7 playable characters, but in chapter 1, the first one you play as finds a letter that ends up saying, show this to like 5 people or else. So it's basically a chain message,
I was about to say, is it?
but like, yeah, it's basically like one of those chain messages where I think is a good idea to base a horror thing off of.
That is cute. Show this letter to 5 people, or you will die.
So that's been
Perfect.
it's been pretty good.
That's ridiculous. That does sound like a good premise. It's like I was scrolling through Hulu or one of them, and that older, like I want to say like 2008 movie Unfriend came up, where it's all the Skype thing, and
Because
it's that same whole thing.
I remember having a flip phone and getting those like sent forward this to like so many other people, or
Oh god,
something will come in your room
you say
and
flip phone to make people feel old, but that shit still happens. I scroll through my Facebook and see that shit pop up, getting messages from random
but
people
yeah,
about
but yeah,
that.
I love the premise, so it's got me hooked.
That's
But
cute.
that's about all I've been playing.
Very well.
Oh wait, no, I did play some Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
Really?
Yeah, because it's on Switch.
Of course. How's that? Does it
It's
hold
been
up?
pretty fun.
Pretty fun.
It's been pretty fun. I had it on Nintendo 64. It's just like another one of those nostalgia things I can pop in every now and then.
That's awesome. That's I think the kind of funny guys are talking about that. It came out sometime last year, and they said it held up pretty well and it's still kind of pretty fun. So as long as you're having fun, who cares, right?
What have you been playing?
Me? What have I been playing? Well, if you're new here, I told you guys last week what I would be playing this week, and I've held true. Every day this week I have streamed and been playing Fucking Bloodborne. Oh my god, what a game. In a great and terrible fucking way. So if you are new here, I played Bloodborne way back in 2015 when it first dropped. Got and understood the premise of the game after 2 hours. Just literally took it to GameStop the next day, sold it for in-store credit because I couldn't stand the load times. Well, when I have a PS5, load times are basically non-existent, so I actually gave it a shot. And I was very much enjoying my experience up until yesterday, last night's stream. Dear God. You go from, that's where I messed up, you kind of janked me, but it's still basically my fault, to yesterday, okay, this is just fucking stupid. Got down this hole of some fucking cathedral, whatever, and some bag man beat my ass. I was like, oh, he must be a strong guy. Probably shouldn't mess with him. And then, lo and behold, I wake up in a jail cell. I was like, oh shit. I was supposed to not, or he was supposed to beat me apparently, right? And I get there and everything's all fine. I'm trying to find my way through. Something scurries by a door, and I roll in, and some witch tries to grab me, and I fuck him up real good, nice and easy. And then I go around the corner, and there's two of those bag men. And I'm fucking him up. Everything's fine. He hits me, does a decent amount of health, and it really hurts. I'm like, all right, he's too strong. Let me back up and heal. We're good, right? And then I get about half health, and he goes rawr and turns red, and literally fucking one-shots me. Let me rephrase. I get the game is supposed to be difficult, and there's probably a method or something I'm missing, which I will eventually find. But there is an enemy that, at full health, one-shots me. That shit is not fun, nor is it fair. Get me really close to death, sure. But full health to dead, 0 to 100 real quick? Fuck that. That shit upset me. So I fought my way trying to figure out what the fuck to do through this dungeon. Kill these first two to go into another room, and there's 4 more. Alright, let me go up another set of stairs that are at that same area. And out of nowhere, another one comes out from behind me and 2 shots me because I didn't know he was behind me. So after all that fighting and bullshit, I finally find my way up. I run past him, find myself a lamp, and get the fuck out of there. But the whole experience soured it very much for me because, as I said, the rest of the game, every single boss, nothing has one-shot me. And if I have died, I'm like, this is where I mess up. This is what I have to do. Now, granted, you could say get good and just don't get hit. I still think it's a bit bullshit that you can be one-shot. Period. And that was very, very upsetting. But all in all, I am enjoying it. I got past it, got to another boss, beat that, and my son woke up, so I had to cut it a bit early, but got a little farther, got past all that bullshit. But if there's anything else like that in the game, like, I'm going to be very upset because it was not enjoyable to me in that aspect. You played Bloodborne. Have you beat Bloodborne? You know what I'm talking about? You know the bagmen I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about because I've gotten there, but I haven't beat the game. I killed the cleric beast, then I killed Father whatever the fuck without getting hit. Because if you have the whip, you can stand behind something and cheese the entire fight, and he can't hit you.
Terrible.
And then I stopped playing after that because my co-host, when I was streaming that, just stopped showing up.
Oh, very well. Damn. Oh, very well. So I'm farther than you are. I've beaten 2 more bosses than you. Both of which I think are actually optional, so it's kind of annoying that there's optional bosses, but I've just stumbled onto them.
Because there's this girl that was there, and my friend was like, "Don't kill her; she'll get you cool stuff." And later, and I was like, "Okay."
What girl? There's a weird no-legged witch thing sitting in a church.
She was normal, just a normal girl in some cool outfit.
Haven't met her, so it must be in a completely different. The only NPCs I've met that aren't trying to kill me is a weird, bloody, no-legged lady inside of a church who wants me to send her people. And then to the left of that is an area where there is a hunter who is no longer a hunter and has turned to a man of the cloth for the Church of Blood. And he gave me something or other, and we talk every once in a while. I go and see if he gives me
Yeah.
other stuff. But I have
I
beat
kind
the
of
bloodstained beast at the bottom of the church, and then I just killed some weeping lady who turned into a weird, like, big armed werewolf in a wedding dress.
yeah. My problem with Bloodborne is I just couldn't keep my attention. Like some games just get to that point. I just ended up spending more time with Dolfu in like the one world instead of actually fighting monsters.
Mm. I mean, as I said, it's holding my attention. I definitely plan on beating it. I'm having fun, but I did, as I said, I got to a fucking area that no matter what I did, no matter how much health and whatever, like being one shot in any game is really fucking annoying. Like in RPGs, they get a lucky ass crit. Sure, all right, you got me there. This one is no matter what. Any move,
Uh,
he barely kicks me, and if he's enraged, I die.
I will say, like when I was playing my Nuzlocke, my Urshifu almost got one shot, but it did the one thing. If you max out your friendship with a Pokemon, it'll be sometimes if they're about to get one shot, they'll hold on to 1 HP and say,
Yeah, just because
like
they love you.
yeah, I named my Urshifu Brock Lesnar, so it was like, Brock Lesnar held on because he didn't want you to be sad.
Oh, that is adorable. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing probably after this. Also, is a little bit more Bloodborne, and other than that, when I get a little bit of free time during the day, when I'm not cleaning or putting, or basically when my two youngest are in bed, I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters. The newest character dropped, Super Baby 2. He's a lot of fun. His combos are ridiculous, and
You're not going to get that money achievement before they stop putting out characters.
probably not. I think I'm a little more than halfway there. Game's 3 years old, and I think at most, like if I haven't spent anything, like right now in my wallet is 11 million zenny. I'm pretty sure I've spent at least 3 to 5 beforehand. So even at max, I'm at 15 million zenny out of the 20 I need for this stupid fucking trophy, and that's 3 years in the making. I'm never gonna platinum that game. That type of grind is just stupid and disgusting. Um, but other than that, Smite, always Smite. Been doing a lot of conquest actually, and hating every second of it. It's terrible, terrible. No, I very much enjoy conquest. I'm just trying to get a bit better at it. So when this new season drops next week, I kind of know what's going on, but I don't know why I'm bothering because the whole meta is going to shift between the items and the actual change in the way the map is. Like, I
If
don't
I
know
have
why
to
the fuck
get
I'm
good
trying to
at
get used to this
conquest, I'll
shit.
get good at new conquest, not current conquest. I fucking hate
Exactly.
current conquest.
That is
I'm
my
not
thought.
playing that shit.
That's my thought. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to get used to a map that's literally about to disappear here next week? But it's also something different because I played for the first like 4 years of that game. I played damn near nothing but Joust, and then when I got tired of Joust, I basically played nothing but Arena for the last
It
year.
feels like they change the conquest map like every 2 seasons.
They probably do. I would say you're accurate on that fact, just for the sheer fact it is their most played game mode. It is what all the pros play, and it's what their pros. Oh my god, I cannot think of the word I'm trying to say right now. Pro league, professional gamers, quote unquote. That's really the
I
words I
never been
have.
upset about a new conquest map change, and I
Hmm.
even like the new arena look because it's basically the same with a new coat of paint. I still miss the old Joust map though. The Joust map that it was there when we started playing, and
Yeah,
not like the new one.
yeah. Since I've been playing, Joust has been redone 3 times. The original one, I can't even remember. Like the original one I played on isn't the original. They actually have classic Joust in rotation every once in a while, and that's wildly different than the Joust we have now. But when I started playing, it was Chinese esque, and then they redid it in that same aesthetic, almost like a Japanese, like from Chinese to Japanese. And then from that, they turned it into what it is now, which is like I'd say what I think how they did it was basically turn into like 1/3 of the conquest map, a bit of a bigger jungle on one side, and a tiny bit of jungle on the other, just so it's not legitimately one lane. Another thing I'm very excited for, I'm not sure if it's coming this patch, I think they just meant it's coming at some point this year, is the fact that they're taking Clash and Siege and killing them both off and mashing them into one, and I'm very excited to see what they do with that. They're quote unquote going to be calling it just straight up Slash. So, excuse me, that gave me a bit of a chuckle on that front. Because I was like, really, just Slash?
That sounds like shit, and I can't wait to play it.
Exactly. It's going to be a giant, ridiculous fuckfest.
Just like fucking throw like the fucking random game mode in there too, and just fucking random guys. Just fucking put that in there too.
No, they got to keep Assault as it is. I think that's why they do it. They're doing it. They're getting rid of Clash for the sheer fact. Sadly and surprisingly, it is the least played out of the 3 modes that have a 5v5. You got Conquest, that's 5v5. You had Clash, that's 5v5. And you also have Assault, which is 5v5. And on the outskirts, you have the 2v2 Siege, which is barely played. And then Joust, which is the 3v3. And there's no 2v2 or 1v1s unless you want to do ranked. And that's another thing I can't believe they haven't done yet. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, or I should say, them to bring back the old Joust map, but for duel and not make it just ranked. I love playing duels, just I don't want to play ranked every single time. I don't want my rank to be on the line if I feel like doing a stupid build or have to go into customs. And I also think for ranked play that the new Joust map is too big. Like there's a little too much for one person to be running through, whereas in the other one was a lot more manageable for one person. It was just a little bit on the side for just red buff, and then a little bit more on the left or right, depending on which side you're on, for Bull Demon, and the one little camp and your speed buff. Now there's mana buff, speed buff, side minions, middle side minions, and Bull Demon, and red buff. Like there's a lot for one person to try to manage against one other person. So I would like them to bring back the old one for duel and also make duel available to people who just want to duel and not have to do a custom game or be in ranked. That was a whole spiel. Jim, good friend in real life and in chat and in Twitch and whatever, yada yada yada, says arena with a question mark. I don't know what he means by that, but arena just got a new coat of paint, so I doubt they'll be doing anything with that anytime soon, if that's what you mean. Like, it just got the Cthulhu aesthetic, the old gods. So, you said only 3v3 and 5v5. That's what I said. Oh, you know what? I apologize. There are 4 5v5 modes. Thank you, Jim. I'm an idiot. So that's another reason why Clash is getting the hell out of here, because I totally forgot about Arena, which is no lane, and just everyone go fight in the middle. Thank you, Jim. I don't know how I forgot about Arena for straight up modes, but once again, there's still no TVT, 2v2 or 1v1s outside of, duel for ranked.
Or random mode of the day.
Yeah, there's random mode of the day, but that you know what? I take that back. There is a 2v2 mode in there, but that's only for that random of the day, and it's literally just the Joust map 2v2, which I don't understand why we have to wait for mode of the day. Like, that's not, duos is fun. Like, there's so many little things I think they should implement, but they're afraid to because not too many people play them. But when you go on the subreddits and everything, people are constantly asking for a non-ranked duel. They want duos to be always available. No one cares about Clash and Siege, so maybe this is the start of them actually listening, that they're getting rid of Clash and Siege and trying to mold them into one thing. And I assume that it's going to stay 2v2. I'm sorry, 4v4, like Siege. From the sounds of it, it sounds like they're going to literally just take the Clash map and make it Siege. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they'll mash the Egyptian and Mayan aesthetic together, but they want to keep the closer 2 lanes, make it 4v4, and then have the Siege minions instead of the giant jungle and long ass lanes. Like, the Clash lanes are a lot shorter compared to the Siege. At least if I remember, because it's been a long time since I played Siege, because no one wants to wait for that 3.5 minute timer. Nobody. So, yeah, that was a long ass spiel just to say that I've been playing a bunch of Smite. So, with that, we can roll right into topic of the show, which this week's topic is IPs that we would like to see in video games and the type of video game that they would be. And I will start off of, I would like another shonen anime manga to be made in the fighters style. So, aka 2v2 fighting game. I don't care if it's tag like fighters or just straight up 2v2. I would prefer it if it was tagged like that. Like, I would very much want to either One Piece, My Hero Academia, or Naruto made like Dragon Ball Fighters.
So
I know all of these games.
So Dragon Ball Fighters is 3v3.
Yes, tag.
Why single it down to like 2v2? That's what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just meant tag as in like MVC3. My apologies. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't care if it's 2v2, 3v3. Hell, they could go crazy and do a 4v4 for all I care. Just, I don't really want a one-on-one. Like, that is not my favorite. You know, Street Fighter style, Mortal Kombat. Like, I don't like Street Fighter at all. I do like Mortal Kombat, but Dragon Ball FighterZ is my favorite fighting game of all time. And I would love some of my other favorite anime to get that same kind of treatment. Because at the moment, we were talking about this before stream, My Hero and Naruto are on complete opposite sides of the scale of arena fighters. Naruto has a bunch in the Naruto Storm, Naruto Shippuden, whatever you want to call it, and then you have My Hero
Naruto
Academia.
Shippuden. It's like they fucking got ridiculous with the name because it's like Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 or whatever the fuck. I don't remember what it's called, but it's fucking amazing. And
Yeah.
then they added like and now it's like Naruto Ninja Storm 4 Ultimate, whatever the fuck, Road to Boruto, because that was like the final DLC.
Which I get, and a lot of people are very happy with that game, and I'm happy for them. But after Tenkaichi Budokai 3, I was so over arena fighters. It's the same reason I don't play Naruto. I played a
Was
few of them.
Budokai 3 the one of rock, paper, scissors?
Maybe? It's so long ago I really couldn't tell you. It wasn't even like the whole rock, paper, scissors that what got me. It's just I was over that style of fighting game. I didn't want to fly around a whole arena and try to get to them. I like that closed, actual fighting game feel.
Well, the difference is the Dragon Ball Z open fighting games weren't that good.
Bullshit. Budokai 1 and 2 are probably the best arena fighters, period. And maybe number 2 and 3, because I did play Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Just the demo was actually fantastic, and I played at a friend's house.
I think Naruto has the best ones.
It has the best one, but in general, especially for the time, they were good.
And as someone who loves Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I also appreciate how Naruto will allow itself to have a huge cast of characters you can play with.
Yeah,
and unlike Mortal Kombat Armageddon, they don't feel
good.
as samey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely will agree with you there. But in general, I am not an arena fighting guy, and I would very much like one of them to get that kind of treatment. I just don't think it's in the pipeline for any time soon if it were to ever happen. And I specifically say Arxis because they make my favorite types of fighting games, the anime fighter. Between Dragon Ball Fighters, Blaze Brew Cross Tag Battle, Persona, like another one. Fuck it. You don't want to do another anime? Give me Persona 5 Arena like you did Persona 4. Oh my god.
So
that would be so good.
You know, yours would be more realistic than mine because you're like you want another Shonen 2D and you're naming One Piece or like My Hero or like Naruto, still things that are pretty popular. And I'd be like fucking I want Shaman King. I want goddamn Bobo. I want some fucking
I'd take a Yu Yu
Like
Hakusho fighting game. That
some
would
like
be dope.
or there was a fucking anime I remember watching on like 4Kids that was just some like cheesy fucking professional wrestling shit in anime form.
Ultimate Muscle.
Yeah,
They actually
that.
had a wrestling game on the GameCube, and it is probably still to this day my favorite wrestling game of all time. That shit was so much fun. It was so
But
ridiculous. But
but
yes.
yeah, I'd throw out games like that for like a 2D fighting game. Like actually, that might be my jump in to what I was gonna talk about. But unless you're not finished
Oh no,
with
I'm good.
your
I get Arxis. Take either one of those shonen properties and do something with it to make it a good fighting game, or give me on the end, not even at the end, actually put that straight to the front. Fuck the rest of them. Give me Persona 5 Arena, and I'll be.
so
Mm.
I want to start with something is everyone knows Jump everyone had a lot of high hopes for Jump Force
Mm.
looking from it from the outside
Yeah.
because they did do like Jump Stars or what the fuck it was called and it was like pretty good, I
Yeah, it
think.
wasn't it, that was the DS. They did Smash Brothers on the DS, but with Shonen Jump characters. And I heard
So
good
like
things.
and as we all know Jump Force is not gonna that's not a surprise. But what is good that did a mix of IPs was Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
Yes.
And I'd love to just see that just with other formats. So I'm basically the same topic as you, but like I said, with stuff like just like other other anime style video game stuff. I
Okay.
don't really know what I'd want on it, but I just either want more fucking characters.
You know what? Now
Because
that I agree with you, and I would just say it straight up. I want. Now that you say that, fuck everything I just said. Give me Jump Force made in the style of Dragon Ball Fighters, a 3v3 where I can have Goku, Naruto, and Kaiba on a team, and Kaiba's assist is Blue Eyes Laser to extend my combos. That's what I
but
need in my life.
yeah, that was just a short thing I thought of
That'd
while
be
you
cool.
mentioned it, because as like I said, I'd love to see like some stuff that doesn't get a lot of love, like Shaman King or Ultimate Muscle or fucking Bobobo and some other stuff I used to fucking love watching as a kid. I think Jump Force did a really good job of like character selection wise because you
To
can't really have
everybody.
fucking everything,
Yeah, it's not bad.
but I did really enjoy it. My the one thing I was sad about because it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! GX isn't Jump, but I think Jaden would be more fun to use than a Yugi or a Kaiba with the Elemental Heroes. I was sad
Boo.
about that.
Nothing's better than blue eyes. Yay, blue
I
eyes.
mean,
No.
Blue Eyes is cool, but like the Elemental Heroes already look like fighting game characters.
You can't have my face. You can't have my face. Do you have another one, or can I go into my next one?
You can go into your next one. I,
It,
I have a few, but I'm okay. I'm good with taking turns.
surprisingly enough, out of kind of funny, came a tweet asking what Neil Druckmann would like to work on. If you don't know who Neil Druckmann is, he is the creative director of Naughty Dog, and his number 5 is actually would be my number 1 for them. I want Naughty Dog to make a Cowboy Bebop game. That would be so dope. I just think it'd be cool. A good third-person action game.
I don't think they'd understand what makes Cowboy Bebop good, but I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Really? You don't think
Yeah.
the guys at Naughty Dog could do that universe justice?
No.
I do. I have complete faith in them. But, I mean, that's really about it. Just if, even if it wasn't Naughty Dog, I would like a third-person action version of Cowboy Bebop. I just like that universe. I like the tone of it. I think it'd be cool. We don't have one. That's it. That's it for me. Just, I
So
want a Cowboy Bebop game. Third person
horror.
shooter.
horror in games. Where did it go wrong? Well,
Friday the
there's
13th
some,
on the SNES? Or is that the NES?
as I was going to bring up with the games nowadays, you don't have a lot of options that are indie walking simulators to choose from, which I think is nothing wrong with walking simulators, but I don't care. You got your Resident Evils, fuck off of that shit. Um, can't wait for Village. You got Dead by Daylight, which is probably the most successful horror game at the moment right now, and it's not even like really horror. And I think that's what gets it. It's like all these horror characters you love without any of the actual terror. Congratulations. Uh, pretty good job so far. Uh, but you had like Friday the 13th, which tried to be a little bit more scarier and then failed
Miserably.
miserably.
Facts.
Like horror as genre you think would translate so well to video game form, but then you get shit like the Saw video games, which are so laughably bad it can't be scary because you're just fucking, it's like hilarity ensues the entire time. However, back in 2002, when things were good, apparently, because I like a lot of old shit for some reason, The Thing got a video game, and it was very good. And it was published by, I think, Konami, my arch nemesis next to Capcom, because they ruined Yu-Gi-Oh!
They did.
But it was it's a really good game, and it has some problems. Like the biggest problem in the thing is it randomly just get let your teammates get in, your teammates would randomly just become things instead of just like giving actual reasons for it, which I think is a problem. So I have two games I'd like to be horror movies and like around the style of like the thing, the game from 2002,
Okay.
which I don't really know how to describe it. It's basically just, the thing movie but in video game form. But like I'd love to see a remake of this game where they fix the fucking issues now that like we're in a point where we've advanced so far since 2002. They could like I'm gonna read some stuff here that they said. Uh, fuck, where's the part I have here? So like it was early days for squad-based games, and the fear and trust and infection mechanics was quite innovative for the time. It came from very early meetings where we all watched the film to come up with brand identifiers. We discovered there should be a novel AI element that mimicked what happened within the film. You never know who's going to turn, which I think is something you could do a lot better nowadays. And like with that kind of infection system where like, oh, I walked around the corner and my ally didn't follow me right away. Is he infected? Did he get grabbed when I wasn't looking? It's the type of horror that I think you could do a lot better nowadays than they
So,
could in 2002.
so you want
I
a
just want
realistic
another
Among Us.
I want just another thing game. However, if that's not possible, I have something even better. Just ignore everything I said about the thing. You don't need that. That's not important. Um, Back in 1997, one of the cult classics in horror called Cube was released, and it's one of the most claustrophobic horror movies ever released. And uh, the you're like a bunch of people are set in a bunch of industrial cube-shaped rooms, and they're either trapped or they're not trapped. There's a few ways to tell if it's a trap, And I think claustrophobia is a really good game like design you could do in a game because it's not something you'd have to work that hard to do. Like a lot of people focus on like huge open worlds, and that's something people can enjoy. But if you're stuck in a fucking like box, wondering if death is going to come if you when you're trying to figure the way out, I think that's a really good like fucking design for a game. So I'd love to see Cube the movie as a survival horror science fiction game.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't know what I'd want it like really based off of because there isn't anything really like it. I'm basically throwing out new concepts of what I want for games. But
I get it. Same concept. Yeah, I mean, same thing. What we'd like to see. You want a good horror game, basically.
yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
and I think Cube, while I the problem with Cube is they released two movies after it that didn't understand what made the first, the first movie good, which is why they need me on the team. Hire me someone because I understand Cube.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. You'll never get it. Because I've never even heard of this movie. That's sad.
You should watch it. It's actually really good.
It sounds
Watch The Thing
intriguing
as
enough.
well.
I've seen The Thing.
Watch it again.
I probably will at some point. 'Cause it's a good movie.
It's also really good. Yeah.
It is. It is. My next one's real simple. I want a Muso style Seven Deadly Sin game. Just go make it, please. Whoever does it is like Tech me, Como. Oh my god, I
I've never
butcher those
actually
names.
watched Seven Deadly Things.
Oh my god, you haven't watched Seven Deadly Sins? It's one of my
Seven
favorite
Sins. Oh.
animes. It's good. It's pretty good.
I know it's on Netflix.
It's only on Netflix.
Which I have some my next point is something that's also on Netflix. I don't know if you want to explain yours more.
Oh no, if it's Seven Deadly Sins, there's seven people, or things from the different races among this anime universe's world. There's a demon, a giant, an immortal vampire, a wizard, a fairy, weird robot doll thing, and then just a very, very, very strong human. And they go around protecting a kingdom from the demon race who is trying to take over the world. And that's about it. If you're interested in anything like that, if you have Netflix, please go watch it. It is very enjoyable. I think they're on season 3 now, so it's roughly like 100 some odd episodes. It's pretty good. I very much enjoyed it. I love the characters. It has its anime tropes, which I'm very much over, but then again, you, it's called anime tropes for a reason. If you like anime like I do, you just kind of gotta deal with the giant things constantly, even in places it shouldn't be, like My Hero Academia, where it's a bunch of underage high school kids, like 15, 16-year-old girls with tips the size of my head. It's just what they like
I
over
don't know.
there, so it happens. But I very much enjoyed the show, and I think it would translate very well. If they can make One Piece into that, then they can definitely do a Seven Deadly Sin version, and I think it'd be fun. Especially play
But
as
yeah.
Escanor. Just throw suns at people. Literally. He just throws suns.
I'm happy it worked out like this because by pure coincidence, I also had something that's on Netflix that I want into a game. Back in 2018, Netflix released an animated Godzilla called Godzilla Planet of the Monsters,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fucking amazing.
Wasn't.
And
I
then
didn't
they
watch
really,
it.
and then in I'm thinking like also 2019. I don't remember when City on the Edge of Battle if that was also 2018, like late 2018, but that was also really good. And then they released Godzilla the Planet Eater in 2019, which was also really fucking good. And that's just something I'd love to see as a game.
A good
Just
Godzilla game.
any Godzilla game. I don't know. Just like the it was made so fucking well that like I never fucking watch shows. It takes a lot for me to watch shit. Like I watched Tiger King because that was such a goddamn train wreck that
Yes.
I just wanted to know what was going on. Uh
Oh
like
man.
but besides that, I haven't really, spent time watching anything. Like I watched The Platform on Netflix, pretty good movie. Uh
I wanted to watch that. Me and my wife seen the trailer for that and said it looked interesting, and then it like disappeared from like the recommended, and we could not for the life of us remember what the hell it's called. Thanks for the reminder. I have to go put that on our list now.
yeah, Platform is really good. I made my mom watch it. She hated it. It was great. But yeah, back to Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. There's just something fucking about it. And this is gonna be a spoiler because like near the end of the first movie, they end up trapping Godzilla within a collapsed mountain path where they succeed in killing Godzilla. However, it's only like an offspring to the original Godzilla, which is so much fucking bigger now and destroys almost fucking everything. And just
Hmm.
like that scene in like that scene alone is like this is the fucking best thing ever. They work so hard to kill Godzilla to find out it's just a wee little baby.
Terrible. Terrible. So, you want this game. What do you want it to be? Turn
I
it
don't
into a
really
fighter?
know what I could compare it to
Do you
because
want
like
ooh, what's that game? You want an Earth Defense Force style but fighting Godzilla instead of giant ants?
uh
That could be good.
so like the ground I'd use like for a starting point is I there's problem is I just don't know what I'd want it as. I just know what I want it. Playing Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, I thought always had a lot of good potential to be a groundwork of something better. This isn't on my thing, so just throw it out there. I always thought it would have been a good basis for a Ruby game or something like that. But there's a lot of if you can throw like fucking vehicles in there and other shit, I think the framework for Fatal Bullet would be good for an anime game. Because when anime games don't have to look as pretty because it's anime, in a way, I think, like, and by look as pretty, I mean it doesn't need the realism.
Yeah, yeah, you can get away with a little bit more. The cell shade here it doesn't need as
But
much detail.
I don't know how well that type of game would work for something as big as Godzilla. So if I go over to the Attack on Titan 2, which I played, like that deals with big enemies very well, but the fighting style doesn't mesh. So I guess it'd need to be
A
somewhere.
combination of these kind of genres. I get it. Just a thought.
But like, yeah, it's just something I fucking loved, and I'd love to see as a game, maybe with its own spin. Because like, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not gonna say any more. I kind of spoiled the end of the first movie, I guess, but fuck it. The other two are still great. There's three of them. Just fucking watch them. They're amazing.
Very well. Very well. Now, honestly, I really just want them to make better fighting games. It's terrible. That's all that keeps popping in my head is just different types of franchise. But another game I would like to see. I mean, I guess is a really more of a resurgence, if anything, is I'd like another Punisher game. We haven't had one since what the PS2 one that you love so much. I mean, I loved it too, like everyone did. It was a fantastic game, but we I think that's literally the last time we had a Punisher game, and that was what 2004.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
But
Back in 2000,
Marvel's doing it though.
Disney didn't own Marvel back then.
They didn't, but they're given like a lot of leeway with a lot of their properties now. I mean, if rumors are to be true, Deadpool 3 is still on and it is rated R, and that is now owned by Disney.
I mean, look at the Punisher Netflix show. Look at the Punisher Netflix show versus the Punisher film from 2004, and
it's so much better.
It's so much better, but it's a lot less brutal.
What? That show was. I don't think the 2004 movie was that brutal. Period. I don't think it was brutal at all. To be honest, I think it was a very mellow movie compared to the Netflix show. That's my opinion. I thought the Netflix show was
and the fucking game which came out in 2004, like you're throwing people's heads into grinders, you're crushing people in fucking car compactors, you're throwing people into piranha tanks.
Yeah. And he's still doing all of that stuff in the comics. All they have to do is slap an M rating on it and just let it fly. As much as Disney is money grubbing, that's really about their like biggest egregious. Like, they don't want you taking their stuff without their permission, and they want all their money. That's the big bad Disney that everyone hates. When it comes to actually letting creators do stuff with their license, they're really not that controlling if it stays as an appeal, stays within the realm of what that character's about. So if there's enough fanfare, I really do think we could get another brutal Punisher game out of somebody.
I don't, especially considering the original version of the Punisher didn't even get released because the ESRB said it'd only be adults only. So they had to change it at that point too.
Well, of course, they'd have to tone it. I think they could re-release that same game now. I don't think they could go any more brutal because then it turns into like a manhunt situation, which is really is just torture porn. So that's.
I mean, Punisher is literally just fucking manhunt too.
Basically, so if they, I don't think. Yes, I agree with you. I don't think.
Or manhunt
as brutal.
Manhunt too.
As the original one, but I think that they could still get away with it. I think someone could make one and make it as brutal as it should be. It was a little over the top in the other one.
So Punisher in the style of Punisher.
Yes, like I mean, it's completely two different companies, but Last of Us 2 was fucking insanely brutal. And if Sony let Naughty Dog do that, I could see Disney letting somebody. That's my thing. I don't know who I would want to do this. I mean, I guess if we're gonna be honest
back
here,
in the day, it was developed by Volition and published by THQ, and Volition, moved on to do Saints Row.
Yeah, so I mean, you could give it back to them, but I'd rather see no, they'd probably.
I think Volition would still do a really good job because Red Faction, is still good. Like Saints Row 4 is still like a really good game.
Yeah.
Those three.
I'd accept that. I'd accept that. I think Volition would still be a good pick. If not them, then Rockstar. But Rockstar ain't gonna put out nothing that isn't excuse me, GTA for like the next ever. So, I mean, until it's time to do Red Dead 3, play as the horse. Just horse simulator. Well, that's about it for me. That's all I could really think of. I'd like a good Punisher game. You got any more?
Yeah, I have a few more actually. So I think it's about time I finally jump into like an anime I really like. I know I talked about the Godzilla thing, which is anime, but they're just movies.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see is in Inuyasha game, because there hasn't been one of those in like fucking forever.
Oh.
But with the release of like the new show with like their children or whatever, I think it'd be the perfect time for a new Inuyasha game.
Wow, that one flew past me. I didn't know that was a thing. Cool. Very well.
Yeah.
What do you want? Like a Muso style game, third person action,
I want it in the style of Onimusha.
third person action. Cool. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That would be dope. That'd be dope.
I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. It's just something I think would be the perfect time for a new game with the new anime being released.
That'd be pretty
Since
cool.
I don't think there's been an Inuyasha game since it was, had its, release like run.
That'd definitely be cool. You know what I want? It basically just comes down to this. I didn't really think I was such a big animator until I really sat down and started thinking about this, like right now. I want a Gundam game in the Diablo style.
Gundams are just excuses to launder money, and you can't convince me otherwise.
What do you mean?
So when I was down in Texas, my friend showed me a Gundam store which he's never seen anyone in ever for years, but the business hasn't failed, so I'm assuming money laundering.
He just hasn't seen anybody in there. There's plenty of people who go in there. Or maybe not, because honestly, that might just be a specific situation. Because there used to be a store when I was younger called Masquerade Games, and it was just a Japanese plethora. Like you'd go in there and they'd have mangas, latest from Japan in Japanese, a whole bunch of the cool Japanese toys. Like my favorite toy when I was younger, toy line, was I didn't even know it because it was in Japanese, and then I went to the counter like after buying the fourth figure. He was like, "Oh, you really like Mega Man, huh?" I'm like, didn't know it was, but back when that digital battle thing was out, it wasn't even out in America. He had the Japanese figures, and they were the most posable, most cool figures ever. We're talking I'm like 12, 13, so I still played with action figures and made them fight and stuff and had a blast, yada, yada, yada. And it was just so much fun. Their knees would actually bend all the way so I could do cool poses and make them actual kicking. Anyway, I digress. I had that exact same store, and there were always people in it buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, renting anime movies, buying Gundam model kits, whatever. Like there was always a decent amount of people in there. You would think they were way above, like sinking. They were about 4 or 5 years after I discovered the shop. They were gone. So if mine, with a whole bunch of people in there, wasn't making enough money to stay afloat, maybe the one in Texas really is laundering money?
If you're in Dallas, Texas, it's right by a Mexican restaurant, like a mini mall area. I don't remember what the Mexican restaurant is called, but if you know if it's laundering money or not, I need to know. I'll Next podcast I will get you both of the fucking names of the Mexican restaurant and the Gundam store. And if you can investigate this for me, I will give you something.
Absolutely terrible. Like, you know how many anime stores are next to a Mexican restaurant in Texas? There's at least probably 6.
100.
Probably 600. But anyway, yes, I want a Diablo style game made, or a Gundam game made in the style of Diablo, where all the different, just you can build your own mech suit. It'd probably be run like shit, but for whatever reason, that just sounds like fun. I don't know
You
why.
know what?
You know what?
I will take that exact same game, but take Gundams out and put Zoids in.
Zoids would be cool too. If when I say Diablo style, I really mean more so Ultimate Alliance. Because Diablo switching out the pieces and making a build, the Gundam doesn't really suit that, or you'd have one weird looking mech suit. I mean, you could probably do that with just like a mech in general, but I specifically want Gundam, and I want to be Angel Wings. I want to shoot lasers at other little robots
I
all
like
around.
legitimately forget Zoids exist until someone mentions some other fucking type of robot like Transformers or Gundams, and I was like, oh yeah, that show was fucking great, and I had some Zoid toys, and I fucking love them.
Hey, I'll
Like
take that for my next one.
I
Go
would
ahead.
have had that. I would have had that on like a thing if I, remembered what fucking Zoids were, before.
Yeah, I love Zoids too. So they already did this for Gundam because that was another thing I had said I would want if it didn't already exist. I will take another Muso style game, but instead of Gundams, make it a Zoid. Zoid Muso, Dynasty Warrior Zoids. That'd be cool.
So back when I was in Texas, again, I went to an arcade, and in that arcade had a Sailor Moon game, which I got the high score on by a lot. Get fucked, everyone. It
Excuse me.
the arc the arcade got moved into a mall now, so I'm assuming someone's probably beaten my score at this point. However, there hasn't been an actual like Sailor Moon game since the 90s,
Oh
and
wow.
Monster Hunter XX on the 3DS had a Sailor Moon crossover. However, I just love Sailor Moon game and like the style of Persona game.
That would be cool. I was gonna say honestly, I would like that as a fighter, but more so along the lines of like Power Rangers Battle for the Grid over anything else. But
You can have like a fighter element in it, but I just want the Persona like
no, I think a Sailor Moon
talk.
RPG in general would be really cool.
But yeah,
I
whether you're
stamp
playing
of
as an
approval.
established character or you're your own character, which I usually think anime games do a little bit better in my opinion when you get to make your own self insert.
Yeah, kind of.
Like I played about every single Sword Art online game there is, and the only one I loved was Fatal Bullet, which is like the only. The other games you can make your own character, but you're still just Kirito. You just look different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Fatal Bullet just let you have your own character, and then they went on to not continue Fatal Bullet, and I'm still salt. I'm almost as salty about there not being a continuation of Fatal Bullet when that happened, when that was like 2018, than like there not being another Onimusha game, which I think in a few more years I might actually be more angry about there not being a continuation of Fatal Bullet. When like Fatal Bullet objectively isn't even that good of a game.
Fair enough. But that is about it for me. I don't have any more that I can think of off the top of my head. I had a
I
few,
have
but
two more.
please by all means.
So, TV show games are an interesting subject because you'll get a lot of weird stuff, like the Family Guy game for PS2. Really weird. You had like fucking Brian stealth segments and Stewie weird platforming shooting. Or you'll get something like Simpsons Hit and Run, which was fucking great. Amazing. Beautiful. There's also other Simpson games. I'm not going to mention them because they were probably bad. But, with a new season of Beavis and Butthead coming soon, it's a perfect time for another adult comedy game. I don't know what the fuck I'd want the style of it in, but just for joke reasons, Beavis and Butthead X Persona.
Absolutely not. First, disagree, but I was never a big Beavis and Butthead fan, so that's on me. But that could be cool for those who like that.
and
You know what? Take it back. They don't. I mean, I guess it's Persona style. If you just mean RPG, I was about to say you could give them like the South Park treatment. I'll take
yeah,
that. I want a
that's
Family
that's
Guy in a
that's
South
that's a
Park.
better example. I just threw the Persona thing out there as a joke, but and I completely. It's a good thing you mentioned the South Park games because I do love them. They're other good examples of like TV show games done right, unlike the fucking Family Guy one for PS2, which fucking sucked.
Yeah, it was real bad. I'm actually
Uh,
surprised that they haven't like that company who does like the South Park one hasn't made a third and two hasn't done something with McFarlane like an actual decent Family Guy version. Just literally give me Stick of Truth but
I
Family Guy
don't think
version.
they do like a. I don't. I mean, no. I mean, okay. I think they might do a third, is what I was trying to say.
Oh yeah, they probably will. With the popularity of the first one and the overwhelming popularity of the second, they probably will at some point. I don't see why they wouldn't. South
But
Park's still super
yeah, just a
popular.
Beavis and Butthead video game. I don't even know if there has been ones. But
There
it's,
probably has,
it's
but
just
way back in the day. And you said he had one more? Because that's just
yeah,
one.
a Yu-Gi-Oh video game with a fucking story. That's all.
You know what, honestly? I would take, like, legit, I know we threw this around like 3 or 4 times. I would take an actual RPG, Persona esque, where Kaiba's throwing Battle City 2. And, like him and Yugi are hosting it. And, they're friends at the end, whatever. So they're just not being a part of it. They really just want to see who is the next best, who's the next up and comer. And then you can face Joey and Tristan and Taya, all them. Bandit Keith are in the tournament, whatever. But you
So
actually get to play as yourself, like
I don't
as a
know
person.
how that Yu-Gi-Oh a few years ago released a really good movie called Dark Side of
Dimensions.
Dimensions. And Kaiba went fucking time, managed to figure out fucking time travel, and he went back in the past to fight the actual fucking Pharaoh. So I don't think he's hosting jack shit. However,
He could
like
come back.
There was a Yu-Gi-Oh video game that let you like self-insert into the first Battle City. A lot of the tag duels let you be your own character. I just love another tag duel with like every series, which they did with up to like I think fucking Arc 5, but that was only released in fucking Japan, and the person who translated the game just put in a bunch of rape jokes for some reason.
Loses Exodia on the boat is said by Jim. But I definitely agree with that. A good Yu-Gi-Oh game of any sort would be much appreciated. It very much would. I agree with you, good sir, on that. Because
But yeah,
if no one except for Jim in chat and Kawhi would know my originating thing, getting on Twitch, wasn't Smite, wasn't any kind of Call of Duty, nothing. That was a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and I very much would like a good Yu-Gi-Oh game because the ones that have come out as of late have just been eh, and Yu-Gi-Oh deserves a bit better than a eh. It's what Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon are like the three longest running card games like ever. There's so many more that have come and died. Like Digimon is on like its like 100th time trying to make a comeback, and from what I hear, the new one's good. But Konami's made
I
something here.
mean
It's a 20-year-old
the
card game.
Cyber Sleuth games are good, but they don't have staying power.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about like I mean, in the actual card games, like it's a property that has survived, like against Magic the Gathering. Yu-Gi-Oh! Against All Odds is actually, as a card game, is like historic, and yet it has shitty ass games. You
Speaking of card games, I don't. This isn't gonna happen for a while, but so obviously Mr. Dad of War here is was my most watched person who streamed in 2020. But the next person most watched is a guy named Spice_Live. Shout out to him. I think he's the head judge for a game called like card game or TCG called Argent Saga, which is a game I want. It was just something I want to game with. But I wasn't gonna mention it until like we started talking about card games. I just want to throw that one out
I
there.
remember
It's
you
pretty good.
telling me about it. And it sounds interesting
Yeah.
as shit. But yeah, I think that's the time for this. So I mean, I don't have anything more else on my head. I mean, a few popped up as you were talking, but other than that,
I can drop another quick one.
yeah, go ahead.
No like real reason. A good Avatar game because
Which Avatar?
the one
Render.
that was released like yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender because that
Okay.
the one that released was like jack shit. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within game. I don't know how old Spirits Within is at this point, but I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
Let's see. Anything else I can pop off my head real quick?
Mm,
Nope. I got nothing.
uh, no. Just a quick shout out. It it's not. I want them. I'm fucking this phrasing all up. Bring back 1313. Now that EA doesn't have specific rights, give someone else that specific game and let them finish it, please. So I want another decent Star Wars game. I mean, EA hasn't done terrible. Battlefront turned out pretty good after, what feels like an eternity of them fine tuning it and taking out all the bullshit. It turned out to be a decent shooter. Jedi Fallen Order was pretty good. And I hear, not my cup of tea, but was it Rogue Squadron? Is fantastic for people who like dogfighting, plane fighting games. So please bring back
For people,
1313.
yeah, it's like fucking Ace Fighter for people who are bigger nerds than like fucking Ace Fighter fans.
That's just rude, but true. So, that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for so much for tuning in. If you are listening to this later on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening to this on a podcast, on the various ones that we are on, thank you. Please leave a like and comment on said YouTube, and if you are a audio listener, please rate it on whatever site you are doing. If you have come here somehow found your way here and your preferred site for audio listening is Google Play, I apologize. I am still trying to work on that. I can't give it, but we're damn near on everything else. We're on Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz. And I will keep you all updated as much as I can. Just period. You can find me on Twitter, handle Dad of War with a 0, just like it is here on Twitch if you're watching live. But if not, and you're watching on YouTube and you want to catch this live, you can come every Wednesday, unless said on Twitter, it'll be something else, at twitch.tv/Dad of War with a 0. Always with a 0 for the O of. It's a 0, not a O. And you can find Kwai at twitch.tv/KwaiBoyGirl. And do you have a Twitter
Or
or anything
in
else you
your
want to
chat.
plug? Or in my chat, because he is the longest sub at 37 months was this month?
Yeah, I unfortunately I'm like a month or two behind because I like missed some, but you also had some months where you weren't streaming, so
Yeah, with the birth of children and whatnot, it was a bit spotty there for a while. But anyway, that's where you can find us at. And hopefully you enjoyed your time here, and hopefully we'll catch you guys next week. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.